vindictive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patent it, being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, slow, speaking fast, like a roast, I can gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness, hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you are behind a fake exterior, inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior, get off of me, this ain't no humble brag, I want you to hear words, you can say them back, I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been through hell, I never got anyone's help, I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough, you wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. You're irresponsible, but you're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No I'm not giving up, no I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off with the wind, I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it, I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I that was several pages of vacant. Modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help, I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Rhythm of the drums, the heartbeat of our people, echoing through the generations.
I understood the strength of our women, their resilience in the face of adversity, and I realized the power of these stories. They were not just tales, but threads that connected me to my past, my present, and my future. As Nyoka spoke, I felt a shift within me. The disappointment I had felt upon receiving Mama Ezine's inheritance began to fade. In its place, a sense of awe bloomed. These stories, passed down through generations, were more valuable than any material possession. They held our history, our values, our very identity.
I realized that Mama Ezine had given me a gift far greater than I could have ever imagined. She had entrusted me with the legacy of our people, a legacy of resilience, strength, and wisdom.
As the stars emerged in the night sky, I looked at the bracelet on my wrist. No longer just beads, but tangible links to my ancestors, and I knew what I had to do. I returned to the city, but I carried the stories within me. They resonated in my heart, a constant reminder of who I was and where I came from. I started to share Mama Ezine's stories, at first hesitantly, then with growing confidence. I shared them with my friends, my colleagues, anyone who would listen.
I saw the same wonder in their eyes that I had felt as I listened to Nyoka. They too connected with the universal themes of love, loss, and the struggle for survival that resonated through the stories.
I realized then that these stories, though born from our specific culture, held a universal appeal. They reminded us of the power of storytelling, of the importance of preserving our heritage,